Good to be home, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
How much of a problem do you view the Tampa Bay Lightning? You know, you've lost them in 5 games twice in 3 years now. They're in your division. It's a team that you're going to be facing, you know, every year pretty much. They've got a core of the group that's in their 20s. Like, I got to imagine, you know, obviously you want to beat everybody, but there's a large problem in your division that you seem to be having a trouble getting by right now.
I'm sorry, guys. 1 second. Yeah. I mean, I think they made some changes. You know, it just kind of swung a little bit. We obviously had their number for a few years there, and they made some changes, I think, to combat our physicality. They've always had skill. They've always been a talented team, but they brought a little bit more of a physical presence in the last few years. And I mean, they kind of have it all now. They have a great goalie. They have a ton of scoring ability with a couple of the top guys in the league, and they have a lot of depth. And then obviously with their back end, you know, they're all like, I don't know what, 6'3" and above, and like 220 pounds each. So they're a difficult team to play. And you know, I think a number of years there where they've kind of fallen short, you know, with their skill, they realize they need to get a little bit stronger and a little more physical, and they've just been able to put it together the last few years. And I mean, it's unfortunate because we have, I'm sure Toronto says the same thing. They have a great team, and you know, we've come up against each other, and you know, with the new playoff format that's in place, you know, you're playing teams in the second round that you should be playing in the third round, and at the end of the day, it really doesn't matter. You have to beat, you know, 4 teams to win the cup, and you know, that's just the way it is nowadays. But Tampa's, I mean, they're a great team. We were a great team, you know, and it's just the way it kind of ends. I mean, there's 2 overtime games. If we get those, I mean, we're up 3-1 there. So you know, it's a game of inches, and unfortunately, they didn't go our way this year.
We'll go next to Steve Conroy.
Hey, Brad, how you doing?
Good, but thanks.
Good. There's a disappointment at the end of every season when you don't win the cup, but that was a really strange atmosphere. You had to have been in there. Just what was the feeling like, you know, getting on that plane and realize you're getting out of the bubble and getting back home? Yeah,
you know, it's still a little weird being here. I mean, I drove by the Garden for the first time today, and you know, it's weird being back in reality. I mean, we're only gone for 6 weeks or whatever it was, but you know, it's a big change when you're stuck in a hotel, and you know, you're really you don't have many things to do. And now, you know, we're back in society, and I mean, you know, driving around and stuff, it's just odd, but it's a different feeling because, you know, typically this time of year we're not playing, or we're preparing for training camp. So just to be finishing up now, and obviously with everything that's been going on in North America, and I guess all over the world, it's just, obviously we're all going through it. It's different times, and things are odd, and we're trying to get that normalcy back. But you know, it's definitely a lot different being back than being in the bubble. There's no question. But I mean, it's nice to be back with the family and back to reality, and obviously preparing again for next year.
Thanks.
We'll go next to Kevin DuPont.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, bud.
I'm going to assume, given the background of those empty cabinets, you didn't come home and break all the plates.
Yeah, we were doing some target practice, so we broke a few, but yeah, no, this is just the work in progress right here.
Gotcha. I'm just with your little one in the background there. It made me think, you know, let's go ahead 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and they ask you about what this was like, this whole thing, the pandemic, going to Toronto, being in the bubble. You know, just what do you think you're going to say in terms of, was it worth it? You know, was it just weird? Just.
You know, I think the way that I tried to view it the whole time is, we're very fortunate to play and privileged to be in the position we are in. We had the opportunity to play, and with what's happening in the world right now, there's so many people that are, out of jobs and losing homes and losing businesses and going through really tough times. And obviously, leaving our family for, a month or two is not, what we would prefer to do. But I think with the position and with what's happening in the world right now, we're extremely lucky to have the opportunity to play for a cup. We weren't sure if it was going to happen this year or not. And, it's what we prepare our whole life for. And it's what we have prepared our whole life for, and what we've worked towards, since we started playing hockey, is the opportunity to win a cup. And so we started preparing for the day we came in last year in September. And, with the team that we had, we thought we were going to miss a huge opportunity. And obviously the way it panned out, it didn't work out in our favor. But I don't think even down the road, I would say I would have changed anything going into this. If you didn't win, it was going to be a disappointment, and it was going to be disappointing to have to give up the time with your family to go away and miss them for that amount of time. But the team that wins, it's going to be a dream come true, regardless of if there's fans there or not, or, the way it kind of came together. It's going to be worth it for that team, and to have that opportunity, it was worth it. So yeah, down the road, I'm going to tell my kids and whoever asks the same thing. I would do it again in a heartbeat. That's why we play the games, to try to win a cup. And we had a team that we thought could win. And, it's a game of inches, and things bounce a little bit differently. And, we could have been there, but unfortunately it didn't happen. But yeah, I wouldn't trade it to go back and do it again. I'd want that same opportunity.
We'll go next to Jimmy Murphy. Go ahead, Jimmy.
Brad, I guess just to kind of expand on that, if you think back to when you came in the league, as a young kid and to now, and you would have never imagined what you just had to go through or what you're going through right now. But just, with everything you've done off the ice and the way you've sort of led the way as a leader for the team, and then with the whole reaction to what's going on with Black Lives Matter and everything, do you ever think about, how much you've matured in the human being you've become in the last 10 years?
Yeah, I do. I'm happy with the way that things have gone, because they can, when you're that young and you get into certain positions, you can make decisions that can obviously better you, and ones that can put you in a worse position or make you a worse person. And so I'm glad that I've been fortunate to have people around me that have pushed me in the right direction and wanted me to improve as a person and as a player. And again, I think, when you're young, you're just immature and you have a lot to learn. And, the people around you can definitely help shape you. And with the Bruins organization, it's very easy to follow with the leadership that we've had and that we do have. So I've been fortunate with the people that I've had around me that I get to learn from.
Thanks.
Thanks, bud.
We'll take our last question from Mike Loftus. Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Brad.
Hey, Mike.
It seemed to kind of change in a year. Last year, during that run, you guys had, a lot of depth, a lot of contributors. This year, your line, which is basically the power play, it kind of wasn't anything behind that. Do you think you guys still have the depth that you're going to need, in these last little years that you guys have with this core?
I do. Yeah. I truly believe in our group and the depth that we have. And, there's guys playing through some stuff, and, it's a different year, and having, 3-4 months off and the lack of ability we had to skate and to train, and it just threw a wrench into everything. But I mean, if you look at the way we were as a group all year, we had a lot of depth and we were a dangerous team all the way through. It just, it kind of threw us out of sync being out that long. And, we were able to find that same chemistry that we had throughout the season. And, if obviously, I mean, you can say what if and look back, but, when we do get that chemistry back and we have that time to be together all year, let's say next year, hopefully we're able to find what we had there early on this year and get back. But I mean, we still have a great group. I do believe that we have a lot of depth, and I think, going through this all, it's a good learning experience for us that, we can't take any year for granted, any situation for granted. And we got to take advantage of the opportunities we have, because you never know when you're going to get the next one. So, I'm still fully confident in our group and what we're going to be able to accomplish in the future.